The day you finally understand that no one is coming to save you, something inside you will break. But listen carefully, that breaking is not your ending. It is the moment the weak version of you dies. For years you waited for someone to notice your pain, understand your silence, rescue your dreams, and lift you from the darkness. But what if the person you are waiting for is the person you become when you stop waiting? Today I want you to hear this deeply. Life does not change when someone comes to help you. Life changes when you stop begging for rescue and start building the strength to save yourself. The most painful day of your life is not the day someone leaves you. It is not the day someone doubts you, betrays you, forgets you, or looks at you like you are not enough. The most painful day is the day you sit quietly with yourself and realize a truth you have been running from for years. No one is coming to save you. And at first this truth feels cold. It feels like abandonment. It feels like life has closed every door and left you outside in the rain with nothing but your own breath. But listen carefully. The day you realize no one is coming to save you is also the day your real life begins. Because until this day you were waiting. Waiting for the apology. Waiting for the opportunity. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for someone to understand your pain without you explaining it. Waiting for someone to notice your potential and pull you out of your confusion. Waiting for the world to become fair before you become strong. But the world does not become fair first. You become strong first. Then the world starts to look different. Many people are alive, but they are still waiting in the same invisible room. They wake up, they move, they speak, they smile, but inside they are sitting by the door hoping that one day somebody will knock and say, "I see your suffering. I see your dreams. I see your wounds. Come, I will carry you." But the one who can carry you has been inside your chest the whole time. You have been looking outside for the hand that must be formed inside. You have been waiting for rescue when life is asking you for responsibility. This is difficult to accept because waiting gives comfort. Waiting allows you to blame time, blame people, blame childhood, blame family, blame society, blame luck, blame betrayal, blame the one who did not love you correctly. And yes, some of these things may have hurt you. Some of them may have shaped you. Some of them may have delayed you. I do not deny pain. Pain is real, but pain is not a permanent command. Pain is information. Pain tells you where you are weak, where you are attached, where you are still begging life to be gentle before you become disciplined. A warrior is not someone who was never wounded. A warrior is someone who stopped using the wound as a pillow. Look at your life with honesty. How many times have you known exactly what you needed to do, but you waited for motivation? How many times did your body ask for discipline, but your mind asked for comfort? How many times did your spirit say, "Stand up," but your fear said, "Not yet"? How many years have been spent preparing to prepare? You say, "One day I will change," but one day is a hiding place for the person who is afraid of today. You say, "When I feel ready, I will begin." But readiness does not come before action. Readiness is born from action. You say, "When life becomes easier, I will become consistent." But consistency is the training that makes life easier. This is the trap. You believe your rescue will arrive as a feeling. You think one morning you will wake up with perfect confidence, clean energy, no doubt, no fear, no temptation, no heaviness in your mind. You think the clouds will open, the path will shine, and suddenly you will know what to do. No, the path is not revealed to the one who waits. The path is revealed to the one who walks. Even if the first step is trembling, step. Even if your heart is heavy, step. Even if you do not know the whole road, step. A person can spend 10 years asking for signs and still ignore the sign that is already in front of them. Your life is not changing because your habits are not changing. Do not be angry at this truth. Let it wake you. The universe has a strange compassion. It will let you feel discomfort again and again until you stop betraying yourself. It will repeat the lesson in different phases, different places, different failures, different disappointments, until you finally see the enemy was not only outside, The enemy was the part of you that kept surrendering your power. The day you realize no one is coming to save you, you stop living like a victim of every mood. You stop saying, I had a bad day, so I destroyed my routine. You stop saying, they did not support me, so I gave up. You stop saying, I was not appreciated, so I stopped becoming better. You stop giving strangers the key to your discipline, because this is what most people do. They allow another person's behavior to decide the quality of their own life. Someone ignores them and they lose focus. Someone criticizes them and they lose confidence. Someone leaves them and they lose direction. Someone doubts them and they lose hunger. Someone misunderstands them and they spend their whole energy trying to explain themselves to people who are committed to not seeing clearly. Why are you giving your life to people who cannot even control their own tongue? Why are you allowing the unstable to define your stability? Why are you waiting for permission from people who are also lost? In the training hall, no one can breathe for you. No one can do your push up for you. No one can hold your posture for you. The teacher can point, the teaching can guide, the bell can ring, the floor can receive your sweat, but the body must move by itself. Life is the same. People can inspire you, but they cannot live for you. People can love you, but they cannot become disciplined for you. People can give advice, but they cannot remove your excuses. People can open a door, but they cannot walk your legs through it. And this is not cruel. This is freedom. Because if no one is coming to save you, then no one has the final power to destroy you. If your future depends only on another person's kindness, you are always a prisoner. But when your future begins to depend on your own discipline, your own awareness, your own courage, your own patience, then even in difficulty you are not helpless. You may be tired, but you are not helpless. You may be hurt, but you are not helpless. You may be delayed, but you are not helpless. You may be alone, but you are not helpless. Aloneness is not always punishment. Sometimes aloneness is the room where your true strength can finally speak without noise. Many people fear being alone because when the crowd disappears, they must hear the truth of their own life. They must face the promises they broke to themselves. They must see the laziness they decorated with excuses. They must see the fear they called patience. They must see the distraction they called rest. They must see the addiction to being understood. They must see the hunger for validation that made them smaller than they were born to be. But this seeing is not to shame you. It is to return you to yourself. There is a moment in every sincere life when you must stop negotiating with your weakness. You must stop asking your lower self for permission to become your higher self. The part of you that wants comfort will never vote for transformation. The part of you that loves distraction will never choose silence. The part of you that is addicted to praise will never choose unseen work. So if you wait until every part of you agrees, you will die waiting. Growth begins when the deepest part of you becomes the leader, not the loudest part, not the emotional part, not the wounded child who wants everything now, not the fearful mind that imagines 10 disasters before one step. The deepest part, the quiet witness, the part that already knows what is right even when it is inconvenient. You do not need a new life, you need a new loyalty. You have been loyal to your fear, loyal to your comfort, loyal to your old story, loyal to the opinion of people who do not carry your consequences, loyal to habits that steal your energy and then ask why you feel empty. Become loyal to your awakening. When you wake up tomorrow, do not ask, do I feel like becoming better? Ask, what kind of person am I training today? Because every day is training. The food you choose is training. The words you speak are training. The thoughts you repeat are training. The people you entertain are training. The way you respond when disrespected is training. The way you continue when no one claps is training. The way you handle desire, anger, loneliness, envy, tiredness, and disappointment is training. There is no ordinary moment. Every moment is shaping you. Most people think they are failing because they had one large defeat. But more often a person is defeated by small permissions. The small permission to sleep longer than needed. The small permission to check the phone before the mind becomes clear. The small permission to postpone the difficult task. The small permission to eat what weakens the body, the small permission to speak harshly, the small permission to complain, the small permission to compare, the small permission to remain around people who insult the soul. One small permission becomes a pattern. One pattern becomes a personality. One personality becomes a destiny. So do not ask why destiny feels heavy if your daily permissions are heavy. Change the permission and you change the path. You may think discipline is a prison, but observe the undisciplined person. Are they free? They cannot control their mouth. They cannot control their mood. They cannot control their spending. They cannot control their attention. They cannot control their reactions. They are pulled by every desire, every notification, every memory, every insult, every fear. They call it freedom, but they are being dragged by invisible ropes. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. When you train your body, you are telling yourself, I am worth effort. When you train your mind, you are telling yourself, I am not a slave to every thought. When you train your emotions, you are telling yourself, I can feel deeply without being ruled blindly. When you train your attention, you are telling yourself, my life is valuable and I will not scatter it everywhere. This is why the day no one comes to save you becomes sacred. It forces you to gather the pieces of your life with your own hands. At first, you may feel angry. You may say, why did no one help me? Why did no one protect me? Why did no one choose me? Why did no one understand how much I was carrying? Let the anger rise, but do not build a house inside it. Anger can be fire for one step, but it cannot be the light for the whole journey. If you live by anger, you will become strong outside and poisoned inside. You will prove people wrong, but you will still be chained to them. You will succeed, but your success will still be a conversation with those who hurt you. Do not build your life as revenge. Build it as remembrance. Remember who you were before fear taught you to shrink. Remember the quiet dignity inside you. Remember the promise you made to yourself when nobody was watching. Remember that your breath is still here. Your hands are still here. Your mind can still be trained. Your body can still rise. Your life is not finished because someone failed to love you, failed to support you, failed to notice you, failed to stay. Do not make another person's absence the center of your existence. When someone does not come. You show up for yourself. You sit with yourself when your mind is loud. You feed yourself what gives strength. You remove yourself from places where your soul is being slowly insulted. You speak truthfully even when your voice shakes. You work on the skill when nobody understands why. You clean your room, your schedule, your body, your circle, your thoughts. You become the person you kept wishing would arrive. This is maturity. Maturity is not age. Many people become old without becoming responsible. Maturity is the moment you stop expecting your life to be repaired by the same mindset that damaged it. You cannot heal while repeating the habit that opens the wound. You cannot become peaceful while feeding your mind with chaos every morning. You cannot become confident while breaking your own word every night. You cannot attract a different life while remaining emotionally married to the old one. You must understand, comfort is often disguised as healing. People say, I am healing, but they are only avoiding. They avoid discipline because it feels hard. They avoid silence because truth becomes loud. They avoid responsibility because blame is easier. They avoid solitude because the self they meet there is unfamiliar. True healing is not only soft. Sometimes healing looks like waking up early when sadness says stay in bed. Sometimes healing looks like walking away when attachment says beg. Sometimes healing looks like saying no when guilt says please everyone. Sometimes healing looks like training when the mind says you have no strength. Sometimes healing looks like finishing the task while the old identity whispers, this is not who we are. That whisper is correct. It is not who you were. It is who you are becoming. There will be a battle inside you. Do not be surprised. When you begin to rise, the old self will not applaud. It will panic. It will remind you of every failure. It will tell you change is fake. It will say you are too late, too damaged, too tired, too poor, too alone, too ordinary. It will bring memories like weapons. It will bring cravings like friends. It will bring excuses dressed as wisdom. But you must learn to bow to the noise without obeying it. The mind can speak. You do not have to follow. Fear can speak. You do not have to kneel. Desire can speak. You do not have to surrender. Pain can speak. You do not have to become its servant. This is inner freedom, not the absence of storms, but the ability to remain seated in your center while the storm tries to enter your bones. A tree does not complain about wind, it grows roots. You must grow roots. Roots are the practices no one sees. Roots are what you do when emotion changes. Roots are what you protect when life becomes busy. Roots are how you return after falling. Do not be impressed by people who look strong only when life is easy. Real strength is seen when comfort disappears, when applause stops, when the plan fails, when the person you trusted becomes a lesson, when the door closes, when the body is tired, when the future is unclear. In that moment, the question is not who will save me. The question is, what does this moment require from me? Sometimes it requires patience. Sometimes it requires discipline. Sometimes it requires silence. Sometimes it requires leaving. Sometimes it requires beginning again. Sometimes it requires forgiving without returning. Sometimes it requires working without being seen. Sometimes it requires accepting that the life you imagined must die so the life that is true can be born. Many people suffer because they keep trying to resurrect what life has already buried. They stand at the grave of an old relationship, old identity, old dream, old version of themselves, and they keep calling it home. But not everything you lose is a loss. Some things leave because your future cannot breathe in their presence. Do not chase what keeps making you abandon yourself. Do not beg for a seat at a table where your spirit must crawl. Do not confuse detachment with love. Do not confuse familiarity with destiny. Do not confuse loneliness with failure. Sometimes the path narrows because you are being trained to walk with precision. If everyone could come with you, the path would not require your transformation. This is why your isolation may not be punishment. It may be preparation. A sword is shaped alone in fire. A seed breaks alone in darkness. The mountain is climbed with companions sometimes, but the breath in your lungs belongs only to you. When you realize no one is coming to save you, you stop performing weakness. You stop telling the same sad story to people who only enjoy hearing you stay small. You stop using your past as an identity card. You stop introducing yourself through your wounds. You stop saying because I was hurt, I cannot become. You start saying because I was hurt, I must become conscious. You start saying because I was abandoned, I will never abandon myself. You start saying because I was doubted, I will learn to trust my own work. You start saying because life was difficult, I will become difficult to defeat. Not bitter, not cruel, not closed. Difficult to defeat. There is a difference. A bitter person carries the past into every room and calls it protection. A strong person learns from the past and enters each room with awareness. A cruel person makes others pay for wounds they did not create. A disciplined person refuses to pass the poison forward. A closed person says, I will never feel again. A wise person says, I will feel, but I will not hand my steering wheel to anyone. This is the work to stay open without being naive, to stay kind without being weak, to stay humble without shrinking, to stay focused without becoming hard, to stay alone without becoming empty, to love without begging, to help without losing yourself, to dream without escaping the present task. You cannot do this by thinking only. You must practice. When insult comes, practice silence before reaction. When laziness comes, practice one small action. When fear comes, practice breathing and stepping. When envy comes, practice learning instead of comparing. When sadness comes, practice caring for the body. When anger comes, practice seeing what boundary was crossed. When desire comes, practice asking, will this strengthen me or scatter me? This is how you save yourself, not with one grand moment, but with thousands of small returns. Return to the breath, return to the body, return to the task, return to the truth, return to the promise, return again after you fail. Many people believe self-rescue must look dramatic. They imagine a powerful,